Welcome to TruPowur, home of the most powerful marketing tools, training, and technology on planet Earth. Get ready to earn, enjoy, and experience more than you ever dreamed was possible. If you're tired of just getting by and ready to really thrive, then buckle in and listen up. Here's your host, Matt Fox.
All right, how the heck are you this fine day? Today on episode 234 of TruPowur Academy, we are going to talk about some of the features available in the CRM and how these features can help you navigate the CRM while working with your customers. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it and take a look. So to start with, obviously we are going to jump right into the CRM from the quick launch menu. And if you're already logged in, it should just automatically bring you right up to the high-level dashboard, which is going to give you a brief overview as to where you are in your progress. Now there's two ways to access your leads. You can go up here and just click on leads, or just start right at the top of the available list that's available in your CRM by clicking on the top customer down below. Now, there are a couple of functions in here that I think people tend to forget, or especially with new agents or brokers, are missing. And so they're having to go through a lot of their leads over and over and over again because they haven't resulted those. So once you have completed a task or a conversation with that customer, we want to be sure and change the current lead status of that customer by simply taking it from fresh, never contacted, down to whatever pertains to what that customer resulted in. So, for example, if I was talking to this customer and it was a residential customer, then if that deal was done, then I would put 1, and it was a residential electric, or it was residential natural gas, whichever it was. Upon completion of that. A couple of things that I want to point out, which will kind of help you give or help you understand the customer a little bit better, is by looking at the search map. And so while you're talking to the customer, it's very easy to pull this up. And typically over on the top left-hand side, you will see an image of that home or that business, whatever the address is. And so it's going to give you a pretty good idea as to, are you dealing with a small apartment type of property, or are you dealing with a larger facility or customer? So using that is going to give you just a quick look at the nature of that customer. Is this customer in a high rise? And so it gives you a quick glance at how that customer may pertain to what you're going to do with that customer. The other thing is using your email. All of the basic email structures are preloaded. And so from the template, all you need to do is select the particular email that you want to send to that customer. It will automatically populate the customer's name and information into the email and put your information in there. So all you've got to do is just select the email that you want to send and then click send email. Now you do have the ability to send a general email. In other words, an email that you want to change or put some specific instructions in there. And so you would want to use the general email and just edit this to your liking and then hit done and then hit send. So that's going to help you with the email. Now, there are a couple of other functions that you want to keep track of, and that is notes on each account, and you can hand type that in there, or you can click on this little mic, and customer was not home, but maid said they'll be back tomorrow. There, it entered everything that I said, so all I have to do is click post, and it's going to put the information down below. So that makes that a lot easier than having to hand type that. You can also use that mic right up here in a lot of the functions, open documents, and that's going to bring you to the documents area in the CRM where you have information on the solar program, the utility audit, a lot of the pricing structure information available there as well. And of course, the TruPowur Academy training histories, which it makes it really nice because all of the trainings are broken down. So there is a timestamp. So if you're wanting to go to something specific, then you can just click on that timestamp and it will take you right to it. Now, if you don't want to lose your place in the CRM, then just hold down the control key when you click on anything and it'll open up a new tab for you. So that'll make things a lot easier in navigating the CRM. And all of the past training histories are available for you to review. So going back to the customer, let's say, for example, if I were talking to this customer and it was a residential customer, and you can see that the basis of the script is to grab a copy of the electric bill, and if the rate on their bill is lower than what we have to offer, then our company will give that customer $500 in restaurant cash. That's in the form of a certificate. If any of our rates are better than what they're currently paying, then we want them to take advantage of it and save some money. Now, the analytics in the pricing platform are going to give you a heads up as to where the best markets are. So you're not spending a lot of time just giving away, $500 worth of restaurant cash. The idea is to collectively provide value for the customer. But let's assume just for a second that this customer did have a better rate than what was currently available. Then we would want to live up to our promise. And so you would put their email address in here and then click on the email. From here, we're going to put redeem $500 in restaurant cash. That's for residential customer. And then hit send. Now, because I actually have this going to my training email, then if I open that, you will see that will come in here momentarily. And when it does, and the customer opens it, you are going to see a pop-up over on the right-hand side, which will let you know that customer has indeed opened the email. On the commercial customers, you're going to see what their utility expenses are, the square footage of it, so you'll know how large of a customer that is. Say, for example, this particular customer. This is a commercial customer in the Boston area. And so while I'm talking to that customer, if I just kind of take a quick peek at it, I can see that 178 Tremont, that's right there. So I can see that this is a fairly tall building. So that's probably why the utility expenses are over $100,000. And so that's going to be a very important customer to me. And so same thing as if we were sending that customer the utility bill request, and let me just go ahead and copy that email over to that customer. So if I spoke to the customer, then I'm going to want to use the audit request personalized. That way it's going to be, it's going to bring in the customer's information to the person that I spoke to, their name of their business and so forth. The attachment's already on there. Your information is attached. So all I got to do is just hit send email. Now, if I called the customer and the person who is in charge of controlling cost of the business was not there, however, the receptionist said that I need to talk to Leanne, and they gave me Leanne's email address, then that's going to be a little bit different. So I am going to send the first utility audit request, but referred by somebody. In other words, the receptionist told me that I was supposed to talk to him. So you don't want to have an email that says it was a pleasure to talk to you today. So Leanne, I was referred to you as the person who handles and controlling the cost for Action for Boston County Development. And so it's going to be more towards who gave you that information, and we can send that as well. So let's check our email. So you can see that email that was sent. So this is a customer that purportedly had a better rate than what we could offer for whatever reason. We obviously want to be proactive and follow up with what we say we're going to do. So to redeem their $500 in restaurant cash, they're just going to click on that link. It is going to bring them to the page where they can redeem that $500. There we go. And so it is going to load the page where they can redeem the $500. They're just simply going to put in their email address. There's a video there that they can get more information as to, the validity of that and so forth. So that makes it very nice. The bigger picture is that rates are always changing, and we would like to compete for their business in the future. So rather than it just be a dead end topic, then we want to make sure that they're getting this email and that they'll hang on to that. Please feel free to check rates for themselves. Go to TruPowur.com and enter the sales code, and it will put your sales code in there to apply discounts. Now, in reality, what it is going to do is they're going to put in your sales code, whichever that is. They're going to hit apply. And now, once that is done, it doesn't matter if the customer does it again in the future. So down the road, they take a peek at it, they don't do anything, maybe they come back a little bit later, they go back to the website, it is going to automatically remember that customer and put the sales code in there. That sales code actually is the identifier to ensure that any customer that you put in through the front of the pricing platform, which is public facing, right? That it is going to end up in your pipeline in your customers so that you get credit for it. So that's really important. And so, we're always trying to be proactive with them. And so this affords them an opportunity to check rates on their own. And so having this email in their email is very important. And so if I'm looking at the customers, so now you can see those pop-ups are starting to, because you can see that all 3 emails have come in. And now I am seeing the emails. So obviously the email was opened. I can see that down here. And I can also see that links were clicked on, and it tells you what link was clicked. So everything is tracked to tell you what that customer is doing, when they're doing it. So you have all of that information available to you at your fingertips. So that's really important. And especially if you are doing a utility audit or you've sent that customer a proposal, the moment they have opened that proposal, that's when you want to go back and talk to that customer. So if I was several customers into it, and then that customer opens it, it's very easy for me to just click on that, and it will bring that customer's information right back up to me. It will open up a new tab. So once I'm done with this, I can close this tab and I'll be right back to where I was before. So that's going to make it very easy. And again, you can type in your notes here, or you can click on the mic and speak your notes, and it will type it in there for you. So those are some of the things that I think are going to make life a little easier, making sure that you update the status of this customer, depending on what the results were or the completion of the call. That is important. And all of the recordings, or I should say, all of your conversations with the customer are recorded. And so if you ever need to go back and review things, you can click on recordings and go back and listen to whichever calls you need to listen to extract that information that you need, or to critique yourself, see how you're doing. Is there something that you said that may have caused the customer to go a different direction? So either way, you have those recordings, and everything that you do within the system is going to be mapped and tracked. So that's very valuable. The other thing is doing a follow-up. If you missed the call and the pop-up because it was after hours or what have you, the other thing to remember is being able to set up an appointment or a time. If you know that that customer has told you that they would get their utility bill to you by Monday, then you might want to set up an appointment time and say, okay, well, I want to follow up with this customer on Monday, and probably at about the same time that I spoke to them today, because I know they were there today. So I'll leave the time stamp at approximately the same time and add any notes that I need in there, and then click add. So once that is added into your system, any notes or any appointments, I should say, that you have set up, you will get an email on, and if so, for Monday, Sunday night, you will get an email of all of the appointments that you have scheduled for Monday. So you'll have a lineup, and you'll be privy of all of the appointments that are set for Monday. You can certainly come up here and say, open calendar, or click on the calendar button. And I can see that on Monday, I do have an appointment, and it tells me what it is. And I can go ahead and just go to that customer and follow up whatever the requirements were. So I think this is going to help you navigate throughout the CRM a little bit better. And remember that your audit, residential, commercial, and solar scripts are here and are available. And if you do have a customer that is a residential and they do have a lower bill, then go ahead and send that redemption email to them. But you also want to make sure and then find out if the customer knows when their contract is going to expire, because they may have a lower rate today, but what happens if their contract expires in 6 months or 3 months or what have you? If they don't put a new contract in place, then their rate will triple. And right now, with rates being at a high, it's really important to make sure that we do the right things for the customer. Now, if you are in need of additional customer leads added to your CRM, then right here is the button to request that. And from here, you're going to see that it says check both the market updates and the market overview. And the market updates is probably the most important. So when it goes into your back office, you just click on market updates. You will see the market updates. And so for commercial, this is the system does the analytics on all territories on a daily basis and then creates this report automatically. You know, a couple years ago, you had to take and do all the analytics by hand and hunt and peck around to try and figure out where should I be attending all my focus. So this is going to be a huge help to you. And so, you know, if you look at this, commercial matrix rates that are lower than the utility. So Connecticut, Illinois, Massachusetts are going to be the best places to look at for commercial electric. For commercial natural gas is going to be New York. Your residential matrix rates are going to be the best right now in Illinois. And then some markets where customers have received some competitive bids. So these are basically on a daily basis telling you what the results are on some of the reverse auctions that are going through the system. So you'll see that all of those reverse auction results from other agents and brokers will kind of give you a heads up as to what's going on in the market, what kind of deals are being bid on. And so you can see this one for Illinois, which was in the ComEd area. The bid was 5.604, and the best matrix rate was 8.29. So that is a difference of 26.86 mils. So that's really huge considering, you know, that's 2.6 cents that we were able to go below matrix. And so that's a huge amount. And so depending on the size of that customer, that can result in an opportunity where you are able to set your margins a little higher to where your revenue is going to be much more appealing, for sure. And so knowing where you're seeing results is very handy as well. And so some of the market timing predictions, as you know, that the system looks at contracts and predicts where there's going to be a better time to renew their contracts. And so market timing predictions are listed here and with potential drops in rate. So, and then a follow-up with the natural gas market, since over 50% of electricity is generated through natural gas. It's a trickle down or domino effect that if you have natural gas prices that are continuing to climb, then so are the electric rates as well. So, you know, I've been telling people for over a year that they need to renew, because the rates are going to really escalate. And of course, a lot of people just think you're just trying to make a deal or a sale. and don't always pay attention to that, but you can see that proof's in the pudding. So, right, hindsight is always 2020. I think that based on the Elliott wave theory and looking at the markets, that we might see a little bit of a retracement right here, but certainly not to here. And then the conditions are the market may continue to climb after that. So after we see a little bit of a retracement, I think that those markets are going to continue to either trade at this level or may increase. But it doesn't really look like there's anything on the horizon that points to the market having a dramatic drop, that's for sure. So taking a look at the market updates is going to be very valuable when requesting leads. Now, the other half of that is the market overview. The market overview is in your back office of the pricing platform. And so by default, it always lands right here, which is the commercial market custom prices. And so this is what is available for custom pricing. And when we talk about custom pricing, we're talking about request for price or the auction, where the suppliers are going to bid against each other in order to get a much better deal. And so those are some of the results that you saw on those competitive bids. So the footprint on the custom pricing is much larger. When you look at commercial matrix rates, this is just off-the-shelf pricing that you can get in your back office without getting custom price, is a much smaller footprint to include the residential matrix, which is available as well. Now, I will want to point out something. If you have a customer that you are able to land their commercial contract, and this is just for the owner, not for everybody in the company, but if you get custom pricing and consummate that contract for the customer, commercial rates are always lower than residential rates. Let me repeat that. Commercial rates are always lower than residential rates. So once you have consummated or signed contracts with the customer and the supplier has signed off on it, then you can also provide the same rate for their residents of the owner of the business, not for everybody in the company. So it has to be the owner of the company, not just one of the decision makers or what have you. But that can be a huge benefit as well as a side note there. So it's important to understand the difference between the residential matrix footprint and the commercial market matrix footprint and the custom price footprint. Now, the utility audit in these states, there is no deregulation. So we can't do anything going into phase 2, which is to look at the supplier side. However, as an audit, you can do an audit in all 50 states, Canada and Mexico. So it does not matter whether it's regulated or deregulated. So take advantage of that for sure. There are opportunities there, but the audit does take some time. And so I always look at audits as potential tomorrow money, whereas when we look at the supplier side, that's really looking at more of residual and today money. So looking at both of these prior to requesting leads is helpful in understanding in this drop down. So if I'm looking at residential customers for electric only, it's only going to show those states that offer matrix electric for residential only. If I look for natural gas for residential only, then these are going to be matrix natural gas for residential customers only. If I look at residential electric and natural gas, I want to take it to the next level. I want both sides of it and double my income. Then these are going to be the states that offer matrix, electric, and natural gas. So I would say that these are going to be your primary targets for residential. Now, the same thing applies to the commercial side. So you have the commercial electric matrix only, which is the smaller footprint. Then you have the commercial customers, which are natural gas matrix only. And then you have electric and natural gas matrix. And then you're going to have your commercial customers, which is natural gas customer pricing only. And then those commercial customers, which are electric and natural gas, which is custom pricing. And then, of course, last but not least, is commercial customers where the utility audit is only available, nothing else. That means that these are the states that are not deregulated, but we can do the utility audit. So once you make a selection here, then you can, the support will populate those customers into your CRM. So once they have populated those leads into your CRM, you will notice that this fresh lead count will go way up. And you can sort those based on what they give you. So I think I have Massachusetts. So let me see here. Right here. There we go. So you can see that once I pull that up, then all I'm going to see is Massachusetts. So I can focus entirely on Massachusetts. I'm not going to be bouncing around by just working the entire fresh list at all. So hopefully that kind of gives you some pointers on how to navigate the CRM, as well as to provide you a way to an understanding of how to get more customers into your CRM and what you can do with that. So want to take a moment here, unmute everybody and have a little Q&A session, and then I will follow up with a little bonus information for those that are online with us today. Well, I hope that you found value in today's training and information. If you did, please give us a like and a subscribe, and be sure to hit that notification bell. Until next time, have fun storming the castle.